Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my new space where I'm going to be filming more often. This is my admin office and I've been planning on getting everything together. I'll show you a little clip of what my new desk looks like and how I have it set up. So I'm so grateful it's here. I worked all day in this back room to clean it up and get going. I have a lot more to do. I need to get a new office chair and a new storage compartment for all my planning stuff, and I'll probably update you guys on that because it's just so exciting. But I did want to talk to you guys about how I'm using my Hobinichi weeks because we haven't touched base on that for 2026, so that's what this video will be. And thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is my 2026 Hobinichi weeks. It is a mega, and I have been using it every week. It's really easy to fill. I take out my A7 planner. Okay, my Hobinichi cousin, and I flip open to the week. Okay, this is my Hobinichi cousin for the week. It's not very filled out. We'll talk about that eventually, but I have all my planners out and I'm gonna just recap my week in my Hobinichi. I'll flip through my Hobinichi first. Okay, so I got this beautiful pink cover and it's got a dark purple for the stitching embossing of 2026. And this is so far the decoration in the front. I haven't been doing much in these pages. Same with this one. I do fill out quite a bit in all my calendars, really. And then we'll flip all the way over to this week. Or these weeks. So I didn't start this book in December because I was still closing out my other planners last year. And I had started my Hobinichi cousin early, so I decided not to start the weeks early. I did start this Hobinichi weeks on the 1st of January. And I put a little few things that I would like to reference back to see like what kind of life season I was in. So I give myself little hints of what's going on, and that way when I look back at this, I can think back to these moments. And all I'm doing is catching like bits and pieces memory keeping in here. I have to have a log of my accomplishments that week, each week, or I'll forget what I've done and I'll feel like I haven't got anything done, even though I do. I don't know how I got into starting this, but I have been very consistent since the beginning of the year. And then on this side, I do like an overview for the week. How am I doing personally? How am I doing at work? How am I doing at home? Notes, and what I'm grateful for. So that's how I started this. And every week or even every day, I could fill this out, but I basically make sure I keep track of what's going on. So I also need to know when I take naps. So if I ever take a nap in any of my journals, if I log it, there's always like brackets that I put around naps so it'll grab my attention quicker. Okay, and that's this week. We are in next week of 2026. So this is how I do this. So before the following week, after I fill out the week, I'll go to the next week and I'll start throwing some random decorations in here. And it's kind of comical that I chose blue and like a snow or a winter hat. Although it's winter, we usually have like at least a foot of snow by now. we don't have any snow, and this is the first time I've seen a February like this, and in my hometown. Like, we're all a little bit worried, but we're trying not to complain. We're gonna go ahead and start with Monday. So Monday, I remember I joined a membership. I bullet journaled. I was still in recovery from exhaustion I went through last week from too much of everything. Journaling over this. And then my husband helped around the house, which is something I am noting because that was really helpful that he did that for me. I had a schedule change. Oh yes, a big schedule change. So my boss gave me an extra day off. Which is very helpful for me, like in my recovery needs as an autistic. So let's see. Oh, that was cool. Okay, so I did home care. Shifts. HC. And I visited my grandpa. And I'm gonna put clean. And I dust the area for him so he doesn't have to do that. It's very tedious work and I don't mind helping. When I got home, I watched analog video and ordered a desk. Ordered the desk we're on. And I pretty much think that was it. And then I was just recharging. Some chores. Did a few chores that day, so that was good. And then on Wednesday, or Tuesday, no, it was Wednesday. Let's see. I was very busy this week, apparently. Work day. I was pretty exhausted. I took a break after work. And then I did like a grocery run. And I believe, did I pick up my prescription that day? Maybe. Let's see. I didn't write anything for that one. Very big. It was mainly focused on work. And then home care in the night shift and visit. Mattress care. The foam mattress was off, so I had to help put it back on, and that went well. And then I also, that was Tuesday. Before I went to work, I had enough energy. I was lifting weights, so that was cool. It was nothing exciting. I just did a few sets of different exercises with the weights. That was good. Then I was really into the Sarah Verba video. and reflection. Thursday. My husband made me coffee. I cleaned the bathroom. This is the day I was filming short content to share. And then I cooked Marry Me chicken. And that went really well. I have to make sure that when I sear the chicken on both sides, I might have to slice the breast in half next time. And I took the recipe and I only did half of the ingredients, and we still had leftovers, so that ended up being a really good choice for dinner. Ooh, that was nice. I'll put that in my gratitude. I did some self-care journaling. So fun. Love doing that. Okay, Friday. I thought this was so funny. I wrote like side quest when I was doing my task log. Side quest. That's funny. Okay, so. Oh man, that was a busy day. I did my home care shifts, catching up with my clients. I hadn't seen some of my Friday clients last week, so I had to wait a whole nother week before we could revisit, and it was so nice to see everyone again. Then I went ahead and did my pharmacy pickup. I have to remember when I do that because then I know when it's about due. So then I did, oof, that was so tough, but it was so fun. I was helping my husband and his dad / mom with, we were trying so hard to put the windshield into the Jeep, and it happened to be too difficult, and we decided that we had done all we could to try to make it work, and we were so close to making it fit, but ultimately we had to give in to the fact that the gasket was way too long. Not way too long, but just too long. Just enough to make us a little crazy. And then Saturday is today, so I pretty much go from Monday to Saturday, and then I end up filling out Sunday, obviously tomorrow. And then we'll go over to personal. But let's see, what did I do today? I cleaned vanity room. Then I cleaned the back bedroom. And it was like our storage room at one point. So we had quite a few things to throw out, and I'm surprised how much I accomplished today. So I'm very, very, very grateful. Set up new desk. And then since we're here together, I guess I could say filmed YouTube video. See, this is so great. I can look at this now and go, I really accomplished a lot this week. So I already feel like proud of myself just getting this much work done and having this much joy is so great. So then I just look back here, I do personal work, home, a note of gratitude. So personal. And then I just check in every week in here. So my personal. And we're almost done with this whole thing. And what? It's been maybe 30 minutes. Not even. It does take reflecting. And I love that because we're reflecting back on what we really did. And let's see. For this week, personally, I felt a lot more paced and mindful. I'm really proud that I did not push myself every day. Like, there's a cleaning schedule I have that I've shown on my channel before, and it does work for me. But if I really do the whole thing every single day, as much as I was loving it, on top of everything else that I'm doing, so combine this list. If you combined this list with this, it ends up being a lot on me. So I'm trying to find a common ground between my work and home life and personal time to make sure everything's flowing in the right way. But I'm feeling really good this week, so I'm very grateful. With work, I'm truly happy with the schedule. I had a busy week. Felt balanced in my rest to work ratio. And I'm going to put some stars here because I'm very happy. Home, obviously, I worked today really hard on my home. I want to put proud of cooking this week. I was able to tidy. And then a little note. Let's see. I also want to add that I'm really grateful for my supportive husband, and there's been a few people who have community members. There were some community members that I spoke to this week that were really moved by a protest I did. I was alone. There was no other protesters out on Monday last week. It was just me. And I didn't feel like it was right to just stay home. So I was protesting for Alex Preddy in my hometown, and I made the newspaper. So that was really a really unusual event for me to even witness, let alone have to protest. It was just tough on my emotions, but I'm really proud that I had the courage to do so. So I decided to put that as my gratitude. There were quite a few community members that came up to me this week and really thanked me on my courage, I suppose, to be the first one to go out and start the protest. And the very next day there was more protesters. So very, very grateful that the message was heard. So note. Anything I want to note this week? Oh yes. Reading. And I wanted to Okay, since this is folding up, I'm gonna go ahead and use my little secure paper clip. And the camera died, so let's get this wrapped up. Let's see. So this is how I use my weekly pages in my Hobinichi weeks. I do a whole list of what I've done, like memory keeping, but it's really meant for my accomplishment awareness. And then on this side, I've written my personal overview of the week, my work overview of the week, home, a note, and some gratitude. So now I have to leave a space for tomorrow so I can document that, and then I will also tomorrow flip to the next week. I will probably color in this and get that going. I do want to show you how I'm using the note pages. And so far, I don't have any rules to the back note pages. I have plenty of them, so I can do as I please. I left the first couple pages blank, and I went into just some journaling bits and things I don't want to forget. So I've been using it mostly for January. I will just come back on here and write some more in February when I have some more downtime to do so. And then, of course, I have all these extra pages in the back of here, and I'm keeping it in the mega because I do believe at some point in my Hobinichi cousin, I'll be switching from using that as often as I am, because I did start it last year in September, and I'll be switching to documenting a lot more that I was in my Hobinichi cousin to my Hobinichi weeks, which is why I did end up getting the Hobinichi weeks mega, so I had that option. But that is how I'm using my Hobinichi weeks. I'll go into how I'm using my Kimber weeks because we haven't talked about that. But let me grab some water so I can keep talking to y'all. So in my Kimber weeks, I love this design. It's definitely, I don't pack this around. This doesn't leave my house. And it's already kind of getting patinaed, or there's a word I was thinking of, but I can't seem to figure it out. So here I just have some extra bits in here. Another star that I made from the laminate, and I downloaded the image from Pinterest, and I have these dandelion hearts in here, and this is kind of the spirit of what this book is intended for, and that is an email to somebody. It's very personal. And this was before I started my personal binder, so this is kind of focused more for very personal growth based, and that kind of aspecting my own relationships and how I am feeling like I'm being in general, so I can make sure that I'm not just willy-nilly doing whatever. I found these journal prompts from Pinterest as well. And go into here. I just don't need this calendar overview, so I'm just pasting down extra pages. And I haven't found a way to use this yet, and that's okay. I might just go ahead and throw on some extra paper here for more notes, or I might just use it for notes in smaller columns. So I didn't start this on the 1st. This is a journal I've started clear back in December. And the reason I did it this way was because I don't want anyone in this book. I'm sharing it with the whole internet, but this is a journal, a character journal and character building. So I started this as like I was reading through some formative books and seminars that I've been watching and YouTube videos, and it's helping me grow in a lot of different personal ways, femininely and as a woman, and in relationships and just showing up in the world. I've been documenting the things that are on my mind and how I'm changing. The thermal printer I used to print this out, and I put respect what's important to me. Positive reinforcement, lighten the load, fun music, happy hour, planning and community, trust myself and the Tao, feminine spirit and reading. And I was also I have some notes from another book I was reading too, and those are actual notes from the book itself. So I underlined it with like a green pen, and I just use washi, if you can see in the last two prompts and journaling. I'm just using this as a journal and not as a planner. So I just take washi tape and stick it over, or like on this page, I just widened it out so I have more room to write. I write so in depth, I have to keep it small because at any given moment, I want to be able to write as much as I can in just 2 pages in one session. So in this one, I did not get 2 pages, but that's okay because I was considering stopping here and then going all the way back to January 1st. And I decided that it's fine where I'm at. I will just keep going back here and just go back through January. So those are the only pages I filled out in here, but this is a really private, personal journaling book that I'm using instead of just as a planner. So it's very unique. I don't know like how I came up with this idea, and I didn't think anybody was writing like this small and this intense. I'm wrong. There is always somebody out there doing the same thing. So I did look up some journaling like inspo on Pinterest, and there's several people with lots of pages just filled to the top to the bottom and then sticky note on top, like, and I love that these pages are being used in such a very intimate yet full way. Like, I'm writing so much in here that it's actually kind of, I would say it's a little tedious, but really when you get going, it's almost like your morning pages. It just all flows together, and it has been great paper to work with. I love putting on decoration and changing it up every single week, so I don't have to sit in like too much repetition. And all the journaling in here is completely unique from each page. So these were like ideas that I come up with that I was talking about, and just noticing certain things in my like environment and character wise. If I see somebody doing something that I wouldn't do, I also like to journal about it because I want to know what it is that that person's doing. Why is it so bothersome to me, and why did I choose not to do it? And just really document my growth and what I'm learning through my reading and seminars that I'm taking. So that's all what this is for, and that's why I picked this cover, because I thought it was so cute and girly. But that's it for this video. We went over my cute little week's planner and journal, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!